Hello friends, a very warm welcome to this webinar. In spite of the risks, fears and challenges imposed by COVID, all of you have very bravely continued to provide excellent care to the babies under you. And I really admire the resilience shown by all of you. In this webinar, we shall discuss various practice issues which arise during the care of the newborn infants during COVID times. We will go over the special challenges COVID has posed for all of you while you take care of your little patients. We shall look at the clinical importance of COVID for the newborn infant, and then we shall go over the specific aspects of care, for example, resuscitation, feeding, kangaroo care, immunization, and communication. Finally, we shall see how we can protect ourselves as well as the neonates from COVID during hospital care. In the initial few months of the COVID pandemic, there was huge amount of fear, and it was believed that any contact or even proximity will transmit the novel coronavirus. This, combined with very early publication of a Chinese guideline, led most healthcare workers to abandon standard care practices like delayed cord clamping, skin-to-skin care, rooming in, and even breastfeeding. Access to all visitors, including families, was severely restricted during this pandemic, and this led to disruption of the regular communication channels with the families. This obviously became very stressful for the families, affecting infant bonding and families' own participation in the baby care activities. For the doctors and nurses, balancing between access and providing standard care on one hand versus mitigating the risks of acquiring COVID on the other hand created huge moral dilemmas and distress. By now, we have a large experience shared from across the world as well as from our own country. It is clear that vertical transmission of COVID is extremely rare. On the other hand, the virus can be acquired very easily during or after delivery, like any other bacteria or viruses. It has been shown that if healthcare workers and families adhere to simple standard infection control measures like using masks, performing hand hygiene, and following the respiratory etiquette, the transmission of COVID to the babies is entirely preventable. Luckily, more than 95% of term infected babies remain asymptomatic. And amongst those who do become symptomatic, the symptoms are mainly related to prematurity and its complications. However, we do have some babies who go on to develop symptoms due to COVID pneumonia or sepsis. Some neonates have even presented with features of multi-system inflammatory syndrome related to maternal COVID antibodies which are transferred across the placenta. As far as the fetal effects of COVID in the first trimester are concerned, we do have very limited information, and from the published data, it, however, does appear reassuring. In the delivery room care, we should follow the standard NRP, that is the neonatal resuscitation protocol. We should continue to use plastic wraps for extreme preterms, blended and controlled oxygen for all neonates, and TPs and CPAP as per indications. The enormous benefits of delayed cord clamping, skin-to-skin contact, and early initiation of breastfeeding are well known, and these should be practiced as standard of care. We definitely should take precautions to protect ourselves as well as the babies. If feasible, the resuscitation trolley can be located about 2 meters away from the delivery table. The personnel who are attending the resuscitation should wear N95 masks, gowns, and gloves. And mothers should be asked to wear triple-layered surgical masks. Head boxes made of plexiglass may be used for decreasing aerosol exposure during intubation and suction. However, they are not foolproof and are not mandatory. This slide helps us to categorize the mother-baby dyads and decide where to place them for clinical care. We can have 4 possible combinations. For example, mother is COVID suspect and baby is stable and more than 34 weeks gestation. Or Mother is suspect, but baby is sick. That is category A and C. Or we may have mother who is COVID positive, but baby is stable. Or we may have mother who is COVID positive and baby is sick. That is category B and D as shown in this diagram. Irrespective of whether mother is suspected or confirmed COVID positive, if the baby is clinically stable and is more than 34 weeks, baby can be roomed in with the mother if she is herself well. If special care is required by virtue of sickness or prematurity, the neonate should be placed in the COVID suspect or COVID positive area as per the test result of the baby. If both mother and baby are clinically stable, they should be nursed together and breastfeeding should be actively supported. Where direct breastfeeding is not feasible, expressed breast milk should be collected in a clean manner with due precautions and that should be fed to the baby. Kangaroo mother care should be provided to the low birth weight babies as usual, and the mothers should be trained to practice frequent hand washing, follow cough and sneeze etiquettes, and they should wear a triple layered surgical mask while feeding the baby. We should continue to follow the standard immunization schedules, and despite the visitor restrictions, one healthy family member should be allowed to help and support the mother. Of course, again with standard precautions as per the prevailing norms. We should make special efforts to ensure that our communication channels with the families are maintained without any disruption. This will require awareness and innovation on part of the treating team. Telephonic and video communication platforms can be used very effectively for this, and all of you have already experienced this modality. The discharged babies should be followed up as per standard schedules. However, a large proportion of physical visits to the hospital can be avoided. Apart from the audio-video calls, community health workers should be utilized for this purpose. In view of the restrictive functioning of most hospitals, the families must be provided clear written information about where to report in case the baby becomes unwell after going home. Common sense and rigorous adherence to standard infection control measures will definitely protect us not only from COVID but also from many other dangerous bacteria and viruses. We should continue to follow the masking and physical distancing guidelines. It has been shown that eating together in small duty rooms is one of the most significant risk factors for COVID transmission amongst the healthcare workers. And we can definitely avoid this by following staggered schedules for lunch and dinners. We should ensure 100% compliance to the 5 moments of hand hygiene and regular disinfection of high-touch surfaces like doorknobs, telephones, computer mouse or keyboards, etc. This table depicts the recommendations of National Neonatology Forum of India about when to test the babies for COVID. If a neonate is exposed to a COVID positive person, be it mother, family member or another healthcare worker, we classify the baby as exposed and test this baby as per guidance shown here. For example, within 12 hours of birth if the mother was positive prior to delivery, and between 5 to 10 days if the exposure is postnatal. If a neonate reports to emergency or OPD with acute respiratory symptoms or sepsis-like illness, the COVID test should be done straight away. Currently, only RT-PCR tests have been validated in neonates. In summary, the neonates can acquire COVID during intrapartum and postnatal period. However, we can prevent it completely if we rigorously adhere to the standard guidelines for prevention. Fortunately, majority of infected neonates are asymptomatic and have very good prognosis. The standards of neonatal care must be maintained and all evidence-based practices should be complied with to ensure optimum survival of the newborn. Communication with the families should receive special attention, and use of appropriate personal protection like using appropriate masks and following respiratory hygiene along with hand hygiene and housekeeping are the keys for protection of all of us. For detailed evidence-based guidelines regarding perinatal and neonatal management of COVID-19, please go through this joint publication of FOGC, NNF and IAP. You can download it from the NNF website www.nnfi.org. It is also available as Android and iOS apps by the name of NNF CPG. Thank you so much for your kind attention.